I asked him, do you think about doing another What's Going On? And he said he didn't feel that he was in a right mental state to do that.
I've gone through 3 years of pretty rough times, and it's been difficult to hold up many times. I felt like doing some crazy things. And the only way you can get these feelings off is to put it in your music. As a black man, he represented a full spectrum of what we have in terms of interest, that we're not just the sexualized version that you want us to be.
But you know, I've seen you on stage, and you're like singing Pretty Wings, and women are throwing their panties up on the stage, and like, How do you feel when people say, you know, Maxwell, modern day Marvin Gaye?
I'm very complimented by it. I model a lot of what I was trying to do in my early days, and even most of my life now, around him. He gave you something to look up to, something to want to become and to embody.
I loved his direction. I was inspired by what he wrote. It's sort of emotional to talk about it because I had seen him earlier that year, and he called me on stage, and we hugged him. And I said, "How you feel?" He said, "Oh man, I'm just tired. And that was the last time, unfortunately, that I saw him.
He was in turmoil before he died.
He struggled privately. His dad was always in conflict with him.
You never talked about him?
No. I wish we had.
He started doing drugs a little heavier, and he started hearing voices, and he kept talking about he didn't want to live anymore. He wanted to go.
I remember being in the park and hearing it on the radio in the middle of a song, and they announced his death, and everybody was just floored.
Soul singer Marvin Gaye was shot to death yesterday. Marvin Gaye Sr. booked on suspicion of murder in the death of his son.
What an epitaph. To be killed the day before your birthday by the man who sired you. And it's
I know he's at peace and he's at rest.
Join the spirit to become one. I think his name will live on and on and on and on. This is our learning ground.
I'm always going to remember the time that I learned what not to play and when not to play.
Then we can rejoice.
I was so amazed to play with him on his last tour.
Goodbye.
Hopefully every year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years there will be another version of What's Going On by another artist.
There's far too many of you died. To bring some love.
I love Michael McDonald's version of it. John Legend did the whole album live.
What's going on? Hey, what's going on?
All the neo soul guys, D'Angelo, Maxwell. You hear people like Miguel. I think Marvin is the most influential male vocalist of the last 50 years in terms of anybody who's doing anything that involves soul music.
And you look at like all of the records that are coming out that have a very social justice feel to them, you can always point to Marvin first.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round.
Rise Up, that's from a prayer. It was the first time I was really questioning in my life if this was supposed to be what I was supposed to do. I could not think of a better way for this song to be supported, for it to be celebrated, than to be adopted by the Black Lives Matter movement.
We don't need you.
never had a music video, which is insane because it's probably one of the most profound songs in history. I really wanted to use my voice. I really wanted to say something. I wanted to speak.
I just want to ask the question, who really cares?
When this musician you look up to is all of a sudden confronting you with these intense questions, you have to respond to that.
Brother, brother, brother.
25, it's going to be a black male and a white.
We really needed to show the racial discrimination going on today.
You know we've got to find our way.
We wanted to talk about our children, the kids that are being killed by these mass shootings. The voices of the young people, especially that year in 2019 and 2018, there's a lot of young people angry. The healthcare crisis is probably like one of my biggest issues with the U.S. And then the Flint, Michigan water crisis. It's so close to Detroit, so close to the home of Motown, it felt only right.
The question of what is going on, it unfortunately hasn't gone away.
Your dad was a wedding singer. Did he sing like Marvin Gaye around the house?
100%. Father, Father. When he pulled out the What's Going On album, that was when I was like, oh, who is this? It wasn't until this past year where I truly listened to the entire record, the entire album from front to back.
What was the inspiration for you to record What's Going On?
It happened when I went out to a protest here in Nashville after George Floyd was killed. I went home, picked the guitar up, and started strumming through it. And immediately I just started crying. Marvin Gaye, he already wrote this song 50 years ago, and nobody listened. No one heard it. It was, at that moment, it hurt. It hurt to sing those words.
So you can see.
I think the next generation has the power to absolutely change this world because they don't give a damn. They see something that's wrong and they point it out. And that is our purpose.
Black people have awoken in a way we ain't never seen before. Not in my lifetime.
It is up to us to get it right, to fix it.
You get really sick of being tired, and you get very sad about being sick, and you get very upset about being angry. And at some point, something has to give, and I think creatively he gave us that opportunity to sort of like let loose.
We have to sing about it. We have to pray about it. We have to figure it out. But the question doesn't go away. The music doesn't go away.
I wish he could have known the way that we love him right now with this record.
Imagine that, from conception to the greatest album, your most favorite album of all time.
Of all time.
There's a lot of hits came out of Motown, but only one What's Going On. Only one of those. And only one Marvin Gaye.
Marvin's voice doesn't go away. Again and again and again and again, we keep asking ourselves what's going on.
To bring some love